This is your boy DJ Leon D, and on this channel we talk about travel, money, and lots of cooking. Three things I know quite a bit about. I'm not an expert at anything. Nope, not an expert. I just been around a long time and know a lot. Let's get it on. Yeah, I'm back here, family. Let me tell you what's going on. I took a cruise to Colombia on the Explorer of the Seas by Royal Caribbean. Yeah, sometimes you gotta spend good money on bad things. But the thing is that it was a good idea. It was a very, very good idea. So, you spent some money just to find out what we don't want to do when we retire. Royal Caribbean, let me tell you something. They got ships like Icon of the Seas, and they got all these nice ships. Well, this trip wasn't on one of them. Explorer of the Seas is probably half my age. It's got to be probably more than half my age. It's something that I realized on ships, on cruising. The more I cruise, the more I don't like cruising. I took it from a 12-day trip from Miami through Costa Rica, through Panama, through Colombia, through Aruba, through the Cayman Islands. I did that, and I didn't enjoy all of it. And I'm gonna tell you why I didn't enjoy all of it. First of all, Royal Caribbean got some old ass ships. They old. Nothing is worse in life than old people and old ships. They do not go together. Because old ships look old and old people look old and act old. There's a huge difference between them and the young ones. See, Royal Caribbean, now I just did Holland America in Alaska a couple months ago. Royal Caribbean tries to be everything to everybody. No, 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 hell no. Just specialize and be something to somebody. Because when you try that, you mess around and you got nobody happy. You got nobody happy. And in this case, that's how it turned out. Nobody's happy because they didn't have all the new modern stuff that you have on Icon of the Seas. No. They had old stuff. And, the families knew that. The young kids wanted to get on this new these new state of the art rides. And old people wanted to do what old people do. Let me give you an example. Old people want a library. Young people say the hell with the library. They don't read no way. Well, this place had a library, but people were making noise. Now, on Holland America, nobody says anything. You don't even know the library exists. You don't even know that. So, and then you had a lot of food, but not the range of food you really want. Because the old ships don't have the kind of dining space that the newer ships have. The old ships don't have a lot of stuff. And now, here's the kick of it all. The entire time you're in your hotel, they're showing these TV channels about your next cruise, your next this, next, and then they're showing all the new ships. They're showing them on the TV. They're talking about Paco Taco. They're talking about all these places to eat at. Ain't none of that shit on your ship. None of it is not on your ship. It's on the newer ships. Now, if I'm Royal Caribbean, I'm going to show you stuff about ships, but not the newest stuff. Now, I get why they do that because they want you to go out and buy another cruise. But the bottom line is simple. If I'm on an old ship, I'm looking at the new ship saying, wow, we ain't got none of that. Well, I'm not taking this cruise again. I already know I'm not taking that ship again. But we picked that ship based on the destinations. Now, saying that, the destinations were places that you want to go. And for the most part, we enjoyed the excursions. We enjoyed Panama City. I love the sloughs. I mean, we enjoyed a lot of that. But here's the bottom line. they always got you. They always got your excursions that just tend to miss mealtime on the ship. Always miss lunch. And when they say you got a snack, let me tell you something. You got a snack. If it's lunchtime and they say you got a snack, don't look for no meat. Don't look for nothing. If you look for meat, you're gonna get a lot of bread with it. That's what's gonna fill you up, not the meat. So when you go out and you doing things and you get hungry, there's nowhere to eat. The one place they took us to eat at, we had to pay. Now we done paid this ship to have 3 meals a day, at least 3 meals a day. No, it's not gonna happen. This old ship, and it looked old too. I mean, you can look at it and say, ship is old as hell. And so nobody was happy because the young kids, they had the things they wanted. The old folks, they had things they wanted. And then they had stuff like the belly flopping contest. And, that's not excitement to me. I don't have a belly. And the people who had one, they had enough belly for like 4 or 5 of us. Because they were some heifers. They were some heifers and they were some big dudes. They wasn't tall, but they had bellies on them. Now, saying that, I really, really enjoyed Aruba. That was my second favorite place, was Aruba. Aruba was second. Cartagena, Colombia is the bomb. I'm going back down there, but this time I'm going to fly and I'm going to have fun with it. I had fun this time. But I can have more fun if I had more time there and if I could see the nightlife. Now, Aruba, I ate a great meal at night. But here's the thing with a lot of these old ships too. Not just old ships, just cruising in general. I am tired of beggars. What I mean beggars, you go and you buy a drink, they tell you that they add an 18% gratuity to your cost. I'm fine with that. 18%. But then they leave things in for additional tip, fill in. Here's an additional tip. Go get a different job. Go get a better paying job. Because that money is not going to the crew. That money is going to the ship line. It's going to the cruise line. It ain't going to the crew. So if you want to tip the crew, don't put it on the receipt on your credit card or your little ship board card. Give them cash. Because we had some good service when we ate in the main dining room. We had some great service. But the buffet sucks on Explore the Seas. The buffet sucks. You have the same food every damn day. And let me tell you the bad part. When you take a 12-day cruise, you're going to have the same food about 12 times. Breakfast never deviated. And here's the part that bothered me. They had Indian food every single meal. The only Indians I seen on that cruise ship were the staff. I don't know what's up with Royal Caribbean, but somehow they think that the whole ship was Indian. Let me tell you something. If I'm Royal Caribbean sailing out of Miami and I see that I got 1,000 Smith, 1,000 Jones, 1,000 Williams, 1,000, Thompsons, and the ship only holds 4,000 people, there is a very, very good chance that I don't have any Indians on this ship. If I do, they're married to somebody with a different last name, but they're not Indian in the sense that I got a lot of, Suharkaras. I don't have a lot of them. So why am I going to cater to them? A third, maybe a quarter of the entire food menu was Indian. That's fine if a quarter of the ship is Indian. Somebody at Royal Caribbean got to get smart because that menu sucked. And then the one thing about food on Explore the Seas, the food is very, very bland. It's bland because they're trying to not upset anybody's palate by having too much salt, too much butter, or whatever have you. That's why the food is bland. But the food sucks. So when you go out on an excursion, they don't give you time to eat. So you stuck with bland food for breakfast, a sorry ass snack for lunch, and the same dinner. Let me tell you how they do it. They'll give you skirt steak for dinner. Next morning, you want an omelet, you want beef, you getting that leftover skirt steak. And for lunch, you're gonna have braised, or you're gonna have something like pot roast with the same steak in there. Because nobody can really tell what type of beef you put in a pot roast anyway, unless they're making it themselves. Nobody can tell. You got a bunch of gravy, some vegetables, and a little beef, and you got a pot roast. But so they took their cow and they took their piece of beef. They done cut it 5 different ways. You done ate it 5 different ways, and they got 5 different names on it. That's how it works. So I was not thrilled at all with Royal Caribbean. I really, really wanted a refund probably halfway through. Because here's the problem. You go from Miami down to South America, and when you do that for 12 days, you're going to have the same food every third or fourth day. And the main dining room menu never changed. They would add one additional thing per day. If it was Southern night, they added fried chicken. If it was Indian night, they added tiki masala or chicken masala. They add, but the rest of the menu was the exact same. I had surf and turf probably about 4 times. I had it 4 times because on that menu they had, that was the most appealing thing. So I felt like I should have got a refund, but like I said, I had surf and turf a lot, and they don't really give you drinks. The orange juice that they gave you at breakfast was so nasty because you want anything of quality, you got to either pay for it or don't get it. There are no options. And see, I don't buy the drink package. No, I'm the kind of person that when I go on a cruise, I'm not, the cruise line's not happy with me. I don't buy the drink package. I don't buy the Wi-Fi package, and I definitely don't gamble. So if you think you're gonna make all this extra money off me, you might get it if I order something from the specialty dining rooms. And I didn't go into none of them at all because I'm not a big Asian food fan because I don't like wet food. And I mean by that, soups and ramen and all that, that's not me. I am a steak and potato person, but so at the same time, when you go there, they like I said, they try to be something for everybody. I seen so many adults eating hot dogs and hamburgers, it was ridiculous. The dessert sucked, but I seen so many adults, eating hamburgers and hot dogs, and I kept wondering why. And then I found out real quick. When you look at what they offer, that was the best thing they offered, especially during lunch. Some of the lunches were just flat out nasty. And who told Royal Caribbean that everybody likes sticky rice? I didn't see any sticky rice when I was in India. So who told them we like sticky rice? It damn sure wasn't me and nobody I knew. But that's just the way it works on Royal Caribbean. It's not, unless you are in, I don't know what demographics they really cater to. But they got great destinations. But I don't know who they're trying to cater to. So, but it damn sure wasn't me. Maybe the excursions is what sold me because the destination I wanted to go to. I just didn't realize, and I'm not gonna blame Royal Caribbean because normally I look up a ship's age. And normally, in this case, I looked it up after I paid. Yeah, after I paid, I looked it up. I'm like, well, it can't be that bad. But then again, it was 1 million pictures of the ship on YouTube, online. It was 1 million pictures of the ship. I just totally overslept that part until after I paid because I was so excited by the destination they were going to because I wanted to do the Southern Caribbean really because I've done the rest of the world. And now I'm to a point where I only really got one part I want to see again. That's Dominique, St. Kitts, and some of these other areas. That's what I want to do now. So and I'm in the process of booking a flight and staying in a B&B in the ABCs, where you got Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. I'm just gonna fly, do my own thing, go at my own pace, and not worry about somebody else. Because a couple of people on the ship that gave the tours, they didn't seem really excited. Now the young guy who's in charge of the sloth, he was excited. You can feel it, you can see it. He loved his job. But the guy that we had in Aruba, actually, no, the guy we had in Cayman Islands, don't get me wrong. I paid for the excursion. He didn't seem enthusiastic at all. No, he was not very enthusiastic at all. But that's on him. Basically it's like I got a locked in crowd here, and basically he told you the bad and the good, but I don't want to hear the politics. I don't want to hear the politics. Just take me on the tour, show me what you need to show me, and let's have some fun. Show me the highlights of your island, not the downside about how foreigners are coming in there buying these $10 million mansions. And okay, you live here. You found a house for a price range that you can afford. Let it go. Aruba, I love the tours. I love the food. The only thing about it, and this is just every place I go to, it's all the same. The places near the port are going to be super expensive, actually ridiculously expensive. But yet you can walk a half mile and get the same thing for a quarter the price. And in Aruba, the people at the port, all those little merchants, they don't negotiate. Don't even try it. Because right behind you is some other idiot that's going to buy it for the price that they ask for. So don't even think you're going to go in there and get a better deal. Nope, it's not how it works. Not how it works. So I'm saying that because that's just how it works. Now, when you get to Aruba, you can, Cayman Islands, you can negotiate because you can walk literally a block from the port, the main street, and buy the same thing. And you got restaurants and you got all kind of little stores, and they'll make you a deal because they don't want you walking out of there with money in your pocket, which is the way I would be. They don't want you doing that. But some people, they go in there and they do everything at the port or on the ship. Now, the one thing that Sport of the Seas did do, they have like a little Disney street where everybody comes out, all the staff and all the entertainers, and they do this little 4th of July little dance down the main street and what they call the promenade. I enjoyed the hell out of that. It's only like 15 minutes long, but it's kind of like the little Disney thing, so it's all right, that was good. But that's 15 minutes, and they did it twice. It could be they do it once a night. I don't know. But they did it twice while I was there. And I happened to be down there near the shops. And, the typical where the watches, they want full price the first 9 days. And the last 2 days, all of a sudden, is a third of the price. So if you bought it the first 2 days, you were an idiot because they charging you full fare. And that's making it cheap for people like me on the last 2 days. And then they had used Rolexes. I never really seen a place that specialized in used Rolexes, but they had them, and people were buying them, So that's how, Panama. I really wanted to eat some Panamanian food. Never had a chance, and the one time I had a chance, it was what we would call a 7-Eleven or a Love's truck stop. They had this truck stop that everybody went to, and they were eating corn dogs and other kind of stuff. That's not why I went to Panama, to eat a damn corn dog. I can eat a corn dog anywhere. So Panama was good. I love Cartagena. Aruba and Cayman Islands is the way to go. But Cartagena is just a pretty city from the port. It's just a newly built city in the last 30 or 40 years. It reminds me of the old Hong Kong, a bunch of high rises on the beach, and they all look like they clean because the color of the buildings are not rustic red or gray or something like that. They're pretty buildings. And now Aruba do got the prettiest houses though. I walk down the street and you can see it in the videos where you see a red house, a green house, a yellow house, a blue house. Oh, it's just awesome. They all side by side. It's just the different colors, So when you make your mind up where you want to go, going down to the southern part, of the Caribbean looks a lot cleaner and better than Cozumel, Belize, and all that stuff. It's just a lot better. And you don't have the fear factor of crime being in the paper. These places are all clean, no crime, no nothing going on. It looks just a lot better. And as far as the prices go, they're going to try actually, that part of the Caribbean is not poor. It's not poor. Panama is cheap. Colombia is cheap. Aruba and Cayman Islands is not cheap. Now, the one city that's interesting is Cologne, because we did go through the Panama Canal. Cologne is about a city of 150,000 people with no traffic lights. I mean that. There are none. There are no traffic lights. So, at the same time, I like Cologne a lot. I like it a lot. So, I didn't like the look of Cologne. It looked kind of dirtyish. The main streets were paved, and then you see dirt streets. Now, the part where the Panama Canal Americans used to live is very, very clean, very, very not upscale. I would call it just a little bit below average, but Panama City is definitely upscale. Panama City is very, very nice. So, if you go back, and there are a lot of Americans that live in Panama City, and I actually, I'm considering buying a place, but in Panama City. But once I seen Cartagena, Colombia, oh, my mind's changed now. Now it's a contest. Before, I'm going to buy a place that's going to be my home base for Central and South America. And Panama City was a lock on all that. Primarily because Panama City is very, very modern, and the airport goes everywhere. The airlines, Copa Airlines goes everywhere. So that was one of the turning things for me. But now I got to look at Cartagena totally different. Colombia as a whole has definitely changed over the years, from the drugs and stuff from the drugs and thugs to now it's a nice place to go to. And people told me that, but like I told you before, I don't talk about nothing on this channel unless I have experienced it. This I experienced recently, and I'm gonna give you some more information about Royal Caribbean as well. But Royal Caribbean, you gotta look at this ship and how old it is, and not just where it's going to, because that was the mistake I made. I wanted to go where it was going to, and for me that was kind of very, very exciting. So now that you know about a Royal Caribbean, Southern Caribbean cruise, you got to decide if you want to do it or not. If you ask me, would I do it again for what I paid? Hell no. Hell no. And I think that my mistake is just that the cruise was too long, because we had about 4 days just at sea. We spent a whole day and a half going around the tip or the western part of Cuba. We're 5 miles from Cuba, and it's taking us 2 days to go back to Miami after we leave the Cayman Islands, because the ship's only going at 21 knots per hour at the most. I'm thinking Cuba is not that big, not that long, because those guys get in a boat. They go from Cuba to Key West in damn near an hour and a half, and it took us 2 damn days to make the same trip. Those Haitians and Cubans and everybody else, they get in a sailboat, and they can go from Havana to Key West in an hour and a half. It's 90 miles, they go in 60 miles an hour. And here we are on this big-ass boat, and I felt like we had a Yugo engine. We were going so damn slow. They intentionally keep you out there to make you spend money in the casinos or at the bar. And I don't buy drink packages, so I know they're not making money off me. But it's your boy DJ Leon D talking about cruising from Miami to Colombia to Aruba to Cayman Islands to Panama City to Cologne back to Miami. Peace.